Hey guys, Liquid here, and welcome back to Let's Answer Some Questions. As always, post questions below, and I'll answer them next week. Let us get started. Let's Play Spidey 18 asks, can you do Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2? I can, and probably will at some point in the future, but I do not know when. Do not expect it anytime soon. Red Hood 440 asks, have you watched any anime? Yes, I have. I've watched quite a lot, and I quite enjoy it. If you look up like Liquid S9K, I think it might be like my anime list page, um, and you can see all the stuff I watched. I've talked like in quite a bit about anime and whatnot in the past, so I don't really want to repeat stuff, but I have seen quite a lot of anime, and I do enjoy it, and yeah, and it was a big reason for me starting learning like Japanese and whatnot. Zabas asks, Marvel or DC? Come on, this is easy. I'll probably say Marvel, just because I've had more experience with Marvel and whatnot. I don't really have anything against DC. Cole McGrath or Delson Rowe, which I actually had to look these names up, but because at least Delson Rowe I did not recognize, but Cole McGrath, he's like the main character of Infamous, and I think Delson might be from like one of the newer Infamous games or something. Which because I'm not really familiar with it, I'll probably just say Cole. Ursula Quinn asks, have you seen the 1994 Fantastic Four movie? I have not. Why did you have such long hair a few years ago? Just the way it happens. I enjoyed it. What MCU films do I own? By MCU, I'm assuming you mean the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I'm not sure which films are considered Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I honestly don't really own that many films. Like I haven't gotten like a new movie. Like I don't really, you know, get movies and whatnot. So I'm not even sure if I even own any. I don't own. I think I might own the Hulk movie that came out in 2008. The 2008 Incredible Hulk movie. I'm not sure if that's a Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I think that's like the newest that I own, honestly. What scene in a movie are you most afraid of? I don't really have anything like that, to be honest. Like, a movie that like it's like I cringe every time I watch it or something like that. Like, so nothing really springs to mind, to be honest. Have I seen Avengers: Age of Ultron and Ant-Man? I have not seen either of those films. Do I like Zack Snyder? I'd say so. I believe, if I'm correct, he did the Watchmen movie, which I quite did. I quite enjoyed the Watchmen film, and I have seen 300, and I did enjoy 300. Have I ever been to Chuck E. Cheese? Perhaps when I was younger or anything, but or something like that. But I don't think I don't have any memories of it really. Least favorite restaurant? I don't really like. I don't really have like a restaurant that I think of and just I don't like it or something. Have I seen the Star Wars Holiday Special? I have not. When will I get back to watching films? I have no plans really to do so. Like I said, like I've said in the past. When I see like a trailer for a new movie, I'm just I just don't really feel compelled to them or anything. Like it just seems like something I've seen before, basically. Milk or cheese? Probably milk. VHS or beta tape? I've never actually used a beta tape, so I'll probably just say VHS. Which Spider-Man cartoon is your favorite? Probably the '90s one. That's really the only one I've seen. I did go back like some time ago and I watched like the Spectacular Spider-Man or whatever it was. But probably the '90s one was my favorite. Like I've seen a lot of it. I always watch it on Saturdays and whatnot. Back to the Future or Jurassic Park? Honestly, they're quite different films, so I'm not really sure. So possibly it's like apples and oranges. Maybe Jurassic Park. Like it depends on like what which day you ask me really. Ronald McDonald or Sanders? Probably Ronald McDonald because I feel like you know when it like Colonel Sanders, like you see him on the logo and whatnot, but that's kind of it. Whereas Ronald McDonald, you know, they usually have like an actor play him in like commercials and whatnot. And I remember having a VHS where it was like an animated Ronald McDonald cartoon where like he and Grimace and like the Hamburglar and whatnot were all together. Have I seen Batman the animated series? I have not. Hulk or Thor? Possibly Thor. Like Hulk kind of weirds me out in some ways. If I'm completely honest. Do I plan on looking for? Do I plan on looking forward to playing? What? Do I plan on looking forward to playing or let's playing Sonic Mania? Um, I've heard good things about Sonic Mania, but I've got no plans to play it or let's play it really. But now that you mention it, I guess add it to the backlog of things to check out. Do I oh do I smoke? No, I do not. Team Iron Man or Team Captain America? I think this is a reference to like the Civil War thing, which honestly I've never really followed that, and I don't really know what sides they were on. But possibly Captain America. Like if we're just going like Iron Man versus Captain America. Do I know who Thanos is? I know that like he's a comic book character. I don't know like what he is and whatnot. Um, I know like he like apparently like appeared in I think he like appeared in like the end of at the end of the Avengers. That's really all I know. Any tips for people who are starting in Let's Plays? I would say try to be consistent and just keep at it. And one thing I think that is important and probably important is advertising. Like if I'm completely honest, like one thing that I did very early on was I spammed. I would go into like streams and whatnot and just anytime that there was like a like I would go into a Necroscope 86's live streams and anytime there was like a break in the gameplay where not or something like that I would I'd be like hey, if anybody's looking for a new Let's Play channel, check out Liquid Solid 1000, which I think that might be sort of kind of frowned upon, but really getting your name out there is an important thing of building a fan base. Have I played Pac-Man World 2 before? I'm curious because nobody talks about that game or even Let's Plays it anymore. I'm not sure if I've ever heard of it. Pac-Man World 2. Yeah, I've never played it or heard of it really. Um, so that could be why nobody talks about it and whatnot. um, but I'll keep it in mind, I guess. Could I do a let's play of Bully and a let's play of Batman Arkham Knight? Arkham Knight will probably come at some time in the future. Bully also I've played a little bit of it, but I've never really gotten too far in it, so I could check it out. Like Bully and GTA and the Red Dead games. I do want to check them out at some point. Do I watch Daredevil? Um, I'm assuming that you're talking about like a television series or something, which I don't watch television anymore. So I've not seen it. If you mean like the 2002 movie or something, or whenever it came out, I've not seen that. Spider-Man or Fantastic Four? Probably Spider-Man just because I'm more familiar with them. Well, I forgot to name the question people, but this was a Pull of Death Gaming. You have M Cole 04 Junk Food Master Gaming. Sluis Swaxia asks, Do you have a favorite console? Probably the original PlayStation. Like it was the first thing that I ever owned, and I actually got a lot of nostalgia for the games, and even the games that I haven't played on it. Like when I look at the video of it, like it just brings you back to a simpler time. What do I think of the remastered versions of older games being released? I personally think most of them are pretty lazy upscale versions of the game with no improvements, just slightly better graphics. Few are actually any good, like Ratchet and Clank 2016 or Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy. I have no problems with them as a whole. Um, like you mentioned, like yeah, I think the upscales should be kind of put into like a different category as like the full remakes. Because that is something where as technology gets better, you know, a lot of like PS2 games when they first came out, were at like 480p was like all they could do, and so bringing them to modern consoles or whatever, like the Sly Cooper collection, I think is it's a good thing to do because like or because your other option is to play the standard definition version. Um, but I think that's like a different that should be put in like a different category from actual remakes. When it does come to remakes, I think they're quite nice. Like you know, I've, there's been recently gameplay of like the new Shadow of the Colossus remake, which looks interesting. Like it doesn't look like they've changed too much, but it looks like it could I don't know, re reignite some desire to play it or something like that. When you mention Ratchet and Clank and Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy, you know when it comes to the remakes, like the remakes and whatnot, I think that the Crash Bandicoot trilogy, like I actually haven't played it, but from what I understand, like they've done a very good job at basically taking the original game and just bringing it into like a modern setting. They've just given it better graphics, and it's like the same game, possibly like some different controls or something I've heard. But I think the Crash Bandicoot thing was a good job. Whereas I have heard, again, I haven't played the 2016 Ratchet game, but if you look up, there's like this video. This fella did like a big video about how the Ratchet thing was like while they've like the graphics look very good, they've changed the story a lot and dumbed it down in some ways. Like there are fewer levels and fewer pathways to go on in the levels. Um, when it's stuff like that, I think it's unfortunate. Like it is like a like cool to look at, the Ratchet stuff and see it in this very high graphics and these very high graphics and whatnot. But it is unfortunate that a lot of these, I guess, upgrades are being made at a detriment to the original game. I guess if that makes sense. That's one of the things that like. So I guess that's really my answer. Like if it's like Crash, where they basically take everything from the original and bring it to high graphics and whatnot, maybe even like add some stuff. That's I think that's a good job. I think. But if it's like something like Ratchet, where they've improved the graphics and maybe added some more gameplay systems like allowing you to strafe and Ratchet and whatnot, but they've changed the story and because like they're trying to make it fit the movie, like take out levels and whatnot. That I think is unfortunate. Like that's one of my biggest fears with the Final Fantasy VII remake, where you know a Final Fantasy game has got a lot of content in it, and so I worry that like when they're remaking it, they're gonna sacrifice a lot of stuff and make it more linear or some of that. Um, but that's that. I think like a good question. What do I think of obsessive YouTube fans? Like, I wonder if this is like a aimed at a particular person or something. In general, I think, I feel grateful for any fan and whatnot, but there is a level that people can cross where they do get a little bit weird. And it really depends on, you know, like what they do. I guess, like, if somebody's just commenting on all my videos, that I don't really care too much. Like, that's just a nice thing. But there's an individual who's been posting questions on these recent Let's Answer Some Questions videos. Who I actually have had to remove some questions on this video here because they were just very strange questions. Like, I have had if you follow my channel for any amount of time, back in like 2012, I had an incident with a certain fella who just kept, sending me messages begging me to do a video with him, and it was just went on for a very long time. It was very annoying. So what do I think of them? Like, if they take it too far, I think it's a bit strange. But if they're generally non-offensive or harmful or anything, I appreciate it. This individual that I was talking about that's been posting on these recent Let's Answer Some Questions videos, I remember I was looking through one of my old comments, and I saw that, like, on one of my recent, Japanese Let's Play videos, on like Boku no Natsume or something, this individual basically decided to reply to another commenter, telling them, just swearing at them and whatnot, telling them to speak English because obviously it's a Japanese game. There was a commenter, explaining some Japanese stuff, and I read that and I was just like, really, like, you wanna treat my fans like that while you be all strange and whatnot. It's a weird situation, but I guess that is my thought on them, I suppose. Without naming any names. But that's all the questions for this week. I'm actually recording this a little bit early, so there might actually be another question that comes in before this uploads. But yeah, that's been all the questions. So look it out.